if the most awkward part of your day doesn't have to be crafting that email or text message. I'm going to share how I use AI to help with my energy and relationships with chronic illness and ADHD. I'll also share what not to do, which I have done as well in this. To start off with, something with ADHD is executive function. And if you've experienced that difficulty of making a decision about something or just being absolutely paralyzed over some really simple decisions, this is how AI can help with some of that executive functioning. I think of it as outsourcing a part of my decision making and my brain. Executive dysfunction can affect how we make decisions, starting or finishing tasks, and sometimes that's starting them at all. I just get stuck in analysis paralysis. This might apply to people without ADHD as well, but these are some of the things that have helped me with AI in crafting emails or text messages, which are the things that are really important about relationships but can be a real sticking point in terms of making decisions. Okay, so this is the disclaimer, or the reason that I've made this is that part of the difficulty with chronic illness is your ability to engage in emotional labour. Those small social interactions, which don't seem like a big deal and are generally not a big deal, really are a big deal when you have a very limited time where you can function or you're having difficulty in functioning. Sometimes simple interactions can seem overwhelming. I've had a few situations with a hairdresser, an electrician, and a band situation where I was being pressured for set list choices a year in advance. Don't ask me why. I honestly don't know. These are some real world applications for how you can use AI to outsource some of your brain. So first of all, I'm going to have a disclaimer. I'm not sponsored by any of the AI that's out there. I do use Claude because that has a lower environmental impact in the world. If you're interested in some of the ethics of AI, I'm happy to do a video on that. Just write it down in the comments. Very interested in ethics, but also Claude for me tends to have better language capabilities, but I also know that Copilot can be really easy to talk to, so you can download the app and talk to Copilot, and it's free, and ask questions, and you'll also get a transcript of that. So sometimes it's easier to process things on the go and through your phone. I don't back any specific AI for any specific reason. I would say use the tool that is most available to you. Use the tool that's easiest for you to access. Okay, so tip number one is put your brain blurt into AI. So either with voice or typing, whatever's easiest for you. The first one I'll talk about, say, is my hairdresser, who normally does an amazing cut, but she did a great cut up top, and down the bottom I'd gone for a bob. I thought it was a good idea, just it didn't work for me, and ended up with sort of half a haircut done. The top was right, but the bottom looked like the old haircut, and I just get really stuck. I'm not sure what to say, and there's too many things going through my mind, and I don't have a lot of energy to try and put those things together. So it was easiest just to say, I want to put it in a way that communicates easily, but I can get the rest of my haircut done. And I got a response saying, hey, how about we tweak this? So that first thing is to put your brain blurt in there, whatever that is. The second one is be the human in this process. It sounds really silly, but there'll be some language that AI will use that you wouldn't actually use. So you need to go through it and go, okay, I need to tweak this to say it how I would say it. So whether that's an email or a text message. But the second point is just, it's very important to be the human in the process. And the other thing is maybe you might not want to do what I did, which was actually pasting part of the query into the email. So I was dealing with a band situation where for the group, every gig we had new material to learn. And for me, that meant that even without chronic illness, that meant that I would put like 45% of my energy into learning some new material. when I actually needed to be reviewing older material, thinking about other things, focusing on, the harmony parts, or, refreshing my memory on other things. My main thing was no new songs. And so I got a great response from AI about my email, because I actually put a really long rambling thing about how it was driving me completely crazy. And AI made it more compact, kept to the point, and was really fantastic, but it hadn't put in no new songs. And so I wrote no new songs. And that stayed in with my copy paste that I didn't know I had no new songs, which proved it was important to me. It actually made it really clear that I had used AI to do this. Part of the problem was people don't understand how serious it is when you have a chronic illness, that you just don't have the energy for things people think is something really simple for them. I was very lucky, and then another bandmate said, well, I think it should be really clear that she's not in a position to do this because she's getting help from AI. So, you can feel a certain level of, why couldn't I have done this on my own? I don't know about you, and I don't know whether it's part of being human or part of having ADHD and not being neurotypical, but I've always felt like there was some kind of rule book that I never got. The rule book of how to behave and the right things to say, and so I've become a real student of those things that help me communicate with others and have helped me to kind of feel like, okay, I've got some ideas and parameters around how these things work. So I am generally good at humaning, but I've learned how to be good at humaning, and I have found that AI has actually made me better at it, because it just gets me over that hump of having to think too much and to overthink and to try and make something perfect that should actually be pretty straightforward and easy. I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next video.